the recording is started. We will see at the end. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't heard anything from brother Razi, so I hope he can hear me. But with this assumption that he can hear me, I am getting started. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining this meetup. Today is our first meetup session. In this session, we will discuss the cloud computing briefly, and then we will dive into Linux and some basic commands of it. The agenda is very simple. I have some assumptions from this call, and I will describe them in the introduction. Then cloud computing will be discussed briefly, and after that we will create an EC2 Linux instance. I hope everyone has created an AWS account. If you have not, I think it will be a little hard for you to participate in the second half of this meetup. Uh, After creating the Linux instance, we will log into that instance and will execute some basic commands. And in the end, I will let you know what are the next steps. I have prepared a quiz based on the information that I will share with you in this meetup, and you have to submit that, in a couple of weeks. Any questions?
Good. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Arabay, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Introduction. I think this is not a how to kind of thing or very introductory meetup. So I am assuming that the people have the basic knowledge of computer. We will be discussing probably advanced topics in this meetup. So the purpose is that the latest the purpose is that we share the latest technologies and learn from each other. We will have this session bi-weekly. Uh, in Ramadan, this will not be applicable, as we know that we will be spending more time in Travi and other activities. So we will not have any session during Ramadan, but usually we will have a bi-weekly meetup. I should say bi-monthly, not bi-weekly. I think bi-weekly means after in like 2 times in a week. If I oh no, I mean so the
Can I take 2 minutes just asking something? Sorry, I should have reached out earlier.
sure.
So what is this about? This is about the technologies you work or RF or anyone else work, and we just bring it and share with the knowledge, like what is in the market, what's happening, or is this something we are actually doing the AWS hands-on and
So
cloud computing?
yeah, so the goal is to have a hands-on experience on cloud computing in general.
Okay.
And my idea is that after spending few months, one should be able to pass the AWS certification. And by keeping that in mind, we will go through like different exercises. As I said today, my focus is the introduction to cloud computing and the Linux. Next, I have planned to go through the EC2 instances, like the compute, which is actually part of most of the certification that AWS offer. But this is not like the hard and fast rule. I am willing and will be very happy if anybody else have some topics and they want to discuss with us. I know, Asif bhai, you are very
Yeah,
strong
yeah.
in admin.
We can do that, but I'm more interested right now to do a hands-on on AWS because the hesitation I have is needs to get it out. So that's why I joined this course.
Sure, sure.
So this is what I was assuming, that this is more AWS and more AWS, and then once people start doing AWS, if somebody is interested in Dockers, we can definitely, you have work on it, so we can get some help from you, or whatever we need to spend time to do this part. That's all. So I'll stay quiet. Continue with your stuff. Thanks. I think I got what you're doing. Appreciate
Sure.
it.
Yeah, and we can discuss offline if you have
Yes.
any further discussion. Uh, so this will be a hands-on session. Most of the work that we will be doing will be hands-on. You will probably work on theory later, and then each after each session, an exercise will be shared with you guys, and you have to answer those questions. And again, most of the questions will be a hands-on exercise. It's not like define this or define that. It will be mostly how you gonna list a particular object in EC2, or how you gonna find out a particular file in Linux. And if you have any questions, you can ask those questions in WhatsApp group that we have created. Any questions so far?
What the sorry again. So what are we? What are your expectations here? Arif, Imran. I don't know which Imran is this, but Imran, Arif, Mohammed was Hassan, and what are your expectations? What are you exactly looking for here?
So Asif bhai, we can talk about this later in the
Okay,
channel in
perfect,
the group,
perfect. Thank you. Let's
because I have a hard stop at 10 p.m.
sure, sure.
and we need to cover this. Any person who has like I think all these points we can talk in the
Yep,
WhatsApp
yep.
group.
Okay, ठीक है.
All right. So cloud computing. I took this definition from Wikipedia. So I think it justifies the cloud computing, even though it's not completely defined what's cloud computing. But I like the on-demand availability. I think that's the core of cloud computing. So cloud computing is the on-demand availability of computer system resources, especially data storage and computing power, without direct active managed by the user. The cloud is provided by the independent providers, and they can define it as a public cloud, private cloud, or a hybrid. In public cloud, the services are provided on the internet, and the provider, you guys already know that AWS is one of them, GCP, and Azure are the front runner. Private cloud is actually, I have another slide for this. The private cloud is the private cloud consists of the services those which are provided to a private company. Probably it's not, it can or cannot be available on the internet, but usually it is for a specific group of people, for example a particular organization. And the hybrid clouds, which from the name we can deduce that it's a combination of both. We probably have our internal data center where we have set up the private cloud, and then we integrated it with the AWS or Azure or GCP. Uh, each cloud provides its services, and those services can be divided into three categories. Those are listed here. In the bottom is the service is called infrastructure as a service. In the middle you see platform as a service, and at the top you see the software as a service. In infrastructure as a service, the bare bone services are provided to establish a data center kind of thing. You can think of the EC2 instance, you can think of the EBS, the storage, or compute engine. All these are example of infrastructure as a service category. The platform as a service are the services which our developer use to develop the applications, and the software as a services are the services which our end user use. Our Office 365, Google Docs, Gmail, all are the examples of software as a service. So this is a very brief introduction, as I intend to be more hands-on. Any questions so far? So I would take silence as no question. So in our next section, we will be creating the EC2 Linux instance using the free tier. So you guys can actually unmute yourself and follow the instructions. I want you guys to create the instance, and then make sure that you are able to uh, create the instances using the AWS console. So my first question is: does anybody who does not have access to AWS console? Asabay, I think you already mentioned that you have it.
Yeah, I have it. The only problem I'm having, I will discuss it. But my MFA code, whatever the two-factor authenticator code, I think my phone changed and I have to fix it. So I'll continue. I mean, I'm okay with accounting. So with this account, so I'll stay code.
Sure. Aribai, Imran, do you have access to AWS console? You can unmute yourself. That's fine. If someone talks behind you, that's totally fine with me.
Yes, I did create an account. I'm just logging right now.
Okay. Yep. Let me know once you're ready, Imran. You too as well. Let me know once you're ready. Brother Razi, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I hope you have the account.
Can you type here? Chat. Who you can't hear, Rashid? Who you can't hear?
Brother Razi.
Brother, Razi bhai, okay. While we're waiting for just for 1 second, so MFA code. How do I get MFA code if I lost my phone?
You have to reconfigure it. There's no way you can recover it.
Reconfigure, right? Okay.
Yes. So, Arabai, Imran, are you able to log in into AWS console?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome, Imran. Okay, good. So, if you have logged into AWS console, you might see this 9-dotted bento menu. If you click on it, you can actually find the EC2 service. Otherwise, you might have this search box as well. Here you can type EC2, and this will show you um, the EC2 service page. And if you click on it, it will land you on the page that I'm presenting right now. So our goal today is very simple. It just create one Linux instance, and after that, we will play with it. Going on here. Okay, so after, let me actually go back. Click on EC2 instance, and after go back to after going onto that page, if EC2 dashboard is not selected, please select it, and then you should see the launch instance button there. Once you see it, just click it. Don't worry about the detail. We're going to discuss the EC2 instance in more detail in our next session, but right now the goal is to have the Linux instance. We're going to use the first link, which says Amazon Linux free tier eligible. You can also click on this checkbox so you only see the AMIs which are free. So I'm going to pick the first one, Amazon Linux 2 AMI HVM, and I'm going to say select. when you come on this page, you have to select the machine type. Be very careful. You only if I were you, only I will only choose the free tier eligible machine. For the other machine, you will be charged. So make sure that you only choose the free machine that's available. We don't care about the CPU. We don't care about the memory as well, but because we're just gonna play with the Linux environment. So just select the T2.micro type machine, and then click on review and launch. It has a lot of other configurations that we will cover in our next session, but right now just click on review and launch. So this is our review page. On this page, by the way, Arif, Imran, are you on this page? Or
Yes.
okay. So in this page, it just provides us a summary. A few things that I wanted to share it with you. The first information is the instance type, the AMI detail. I think the information that's little, probably not clear to you is the security group. Security group is used to restrict or allow the access to the machines. So right now, if you see, there is a rule defined here which says all the SSH traffic using the TCP protocol on port 22 is open and it can be accessed from any machine. This is not the best practice, but right now, because we are just playing with it, we will actually keep it the open system. That's why it is also giving you a warning at the top that this is not the best practice. So we will ignore it for now. There is a lot of other information here, but I'm ignoring them for now, and I'm just gonna click launch. When you will click launch, if this is the first time you are clicking it, it will ask you to create a key pair or choose an existing key pair. In your case, if you haven't used EC2 before, you might not find a key pair. So what you have to do, you have to say create new key pair. And when you choose the create new key pair, it will show you a text box where you will type whatever name you like, and click on download key pair. Probably you can say that Rashid AWS key, or you can say RF, whatever name you like, and after that click on the download key pair, and the launch instance button will be enabled. But in my case, I'm gonna use the existing key, which I think I already have it. Let me actually confirm that. Key pair. Yeah, I have already key pair. Okay. So once you download it, you can click the launch instance button, and it should start creating the machine for you. It will take few seconds, and I think most of you guys are using Windows machine to access this exercise, right?
I have Windows here.
Someone using Mac.
Okay, Imran, if you are using Mac, you can follow the instructions with me. But if anybody is using Windows machine, they have to install putty, whatever the way you pronunciate it, and you have to configure it the way these steps describe it. I'm gonna share that link with you guys here, and you guys need to actually, I think you should do that now, or what you can do you can go into the EC2 instance. Actually, so let's see if instance is created or not. Oh, by the way, I already have a lot of instances. I don't know which one I connect, but that's okay. What you can do if you are on Windows machine, just to play with the Linux environment. You see at the top there is a Cloud Shell button here. If you click on it, it will create a Linux environment for you, where you can run your commands. This is usually to play with the AWS services, but we will use it to run some Linux basic commands.
Where is it? Can you show me again?
So at the top, you will
Okay.
see a command or shell icon there. If you click
Got
on it, it will start creating a cloud shell for you within your browser.
it. Got it.
But because I have, I'm working on a Mac, so I have the other shell to connect to it. So I will use um, use my system to connect to it. Let me actually copy that. So this is the way it's gonna create the instance, and here you can check the health of your particular instance that you have created. So as you can see, the third instance here, that's the one which I just initiated, and right now it already have configured it, started it, and right now running some initializing script. Those we will talk about in our next session. But let's see a few of the options here. There's a basic tab here. You can find all the detail, like what kind of operating system it is, what is the AMI version, AMI location, public IP address, private IP address. Um, then we have the security tab where you will find the security groups. Networking information will be here. All the um, all the EC2 instances, they need the storage as well. So this will show you how much storage you have and how much or what kind of a disk is mounted on this particular machine. Then there are some admin related stuff where you can see the monitoring, and you can also have the status check. Um, any questions so far? Arif, Imran, Asibai, Azibai?
I'm on the AWS Cloud Shell section. That's
Okay,
where I am.
awesome. So you can ignore the following step that I'm going to execute, Arif, but just make sure that you follow the Linux the instruction I have attached here for future exercises. I think those will be helpful to you. But today probably you can you can ignore this particular step that I'm executing right now. Okay. So Imran, for you especially, we are using SSH. That is a tool which uses the SSH protocol to communicate securely with the Linux machine. So you can see here that I am using SSH. Then I'm providing -I option and providing the key that you have already done, or I have downloaded, and in your case you have downloaded. And after that, there is a username EC2-user at the public IP address of your machine. Please let me know when you are ready. So one thing you might need to do, this particular key, it should have a certain permissions. So one thing probably you need to do is run chmod 700 and to the path to your key. Imran, can you, my key ends with that? That's fine. That's fine. Just provide the path. I think that should work as well. So chmod change mode. We are actually going to cover this particular command. Then just give the 700 number there. This is actually a binary number used to set the permission on a key, and you can specify the path to that key and just run it. Yeah, Radhi bhai, I see your message. Try to click the console, um, the cloud shell. I think that option might be better for you. We can take these error messages later, and we will configure this putty for you. So once you guys are ready, everybody, anybody who's using putty, they probably can ignore this command, but they probably need to remember this command. In future exercises, we will be using it. But for now, for today's session, you can use the cloud shell. So SSH-I option, provide the path to your key, and then EC2-user at 54, not 54, the public IP address of your machine. And EC2-user, this is the user that Amazon has created for us on that particular instance. And once you say,
can you maximize your fonts or screen a little bit bigger than this?
Sure, I can do that. Preferences, profile, text. How about now? Does it look good? Does it look good?
Sorry, I was on mute, man. Yes, I'm good. Yeah, I tried to dump the file for him, so he can just click on it.
You did what?
I was trying to put it in this meeting invite, so he can just click on the installer for Putty and he can install it. But that's fine.
Oh,
That's fine.
but I'm not using putty.
No, it's for him. Oh yeah, I can't share this, right?
Yeah. And this is not putty, and I know for putty they need to convert this key into PPK. That's a different format. That's why I provided those instructions. We can play with those later.
Yep.
So right now, I am logged into my machine and as a EC2 user. Any questions so far?
Sorry. Yes, the command you typed in, right, to log in. Can you paste it there? So I will hold on. I'm not asking about anybody else. I will hold on. So the way you are connecting, right, you're basically using the yes SSH and then where the keys are and then the EC2 and then okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Problem. I am looking for the meeting now. Give me 1 second. All right. This is the command. All right. Going back to slides, I have categorized these basic Linux commands into few sections. The first will be the navigations and look around. So, for example, let me log in again. Arabai, Imran, Razibai, you can actually follow along right now if you have access to the Cloud Shell. So the first command that I want to show you is, okay, where I am. So to see that where you are in Linux, usually type pwd. This will show you of the path of the directory where you logged in. So you can see here the path is home directory and then ec2 directory. Are you guys with me so far? Arif, Imran?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So the Linux system is slightly different from the Windows system, where you install certain applications. In Linux everything is a file, and there are multiple directories. We will learn more about it, but in this tutorial we will just go through some basic stuff. So you see, this everything will be a command. Command is a set of words or set of uh, alphabets that will execute something behind the scene. For example, this pwd. If I will want to see that what is pwd, so this you can type the word type, and then if you type that command, it will actually show you what it is. What is it? So for example, when I type the type pwd, it is telling me that pwd is a shell built-in thing. So pwd will show us where we are right now. There's another command which is very useful, and you will need it. Is you want to see what it is, what you have in the current directory or any directory. So for that command, we run the command called ls. The command is ls. It has, so all the commands, they will have multiple options as well. So for example, right now when I executed ls, I only saw a directory name there. But if I type ls-l, it gave me different output. Now you can see it still shows me directory, but it provides me a lot of other information too. For example, the first section that you see here, the first letter you see here, that tells you if this is a file or a directory. If you see a D here, this will be a directory. Let me actually, if you see a D here, you will see this denotes that this is a directory. If you see a dash here, that will tell you that this is a file. The rest of the rest of the letters, they actually tell you the permissions on this particular file. There are three blocks of permissions: read, write, and execute for the owner of the file, read, write, and execute for the group of the group which owns this particular file or directory, and the last one is for the public. Anyone who has access to this directory, they can only read right now. If you can see here, this is the directory. Read, the letter all R shows that the owner can read, write, and execute anything, and any person who is part of that group, who has access to this particular group, they can have read, write, and execute access. But if you see the last three letters, we have read access, but there is no write access here, but we have execute access. It means the other public who are not owner of this particular directory, they can only read. They can go into this directory and see information, but they cannot create a new file. They cannot delete this directory. Are you guys with me so far?
Yes.
Okay. Once you have this information, then it actually the next section should tell you the owner of this file or directory. The following tab shows you the group of this particular directory, then the size of this file or directory, and then the time comes here, the last modified time of this file. So in Windows machine or even in Mac, we have a lot of GUI, but in Linux, you're gonna play with the command line most of the time. Any questions so far on pwd, ls, or any command? So silence means you are getting all the points or you are not getting at all. Aribhai, are you able to run the command in the Cloud Shell? Imran, Arif? Okay, awesome. Awesome. All right. So the next command which we usually use, we are in this particular directory and we want to move from one directory to another. So for that, we have a command called cd, which means change directory. And then you can give a relative path or you can give an absolute path. When I say relative path, I mean I can simply say directory 1. Now, if I say pwd, you can see the path has changed now. We are from home EC2 user directory. Similarly, if I want to go back to home directory, and if you see the path starts from the forward slash, then this shows that I'm providing a absolute path. And now if you will see, I am in the home directory right now, and if I want to see more information, I can run ls-l. Similarly, cd have many options, and I will not discuss all the options with you, but I will show you how to look into all the options that are available. Right now my screen is full, right? And I want to clear that screen and I want to go at the top. So to go at the top, you can type clear, and if you hit enter, your screen will clear and your cursor will go at the top. Any questions so far? I'm gonna ask more. I'm gonna give you more opportunity to ask question in my first slide, but after that I will be fast because we have a little bit. We are we have only 18 minutes left for this session. If I want to know who is logged in right now, so we can write a command called who am I, and that will tell you who is the user right now. So in your case, Arif and Razibhai and Asifbhai, you might see a different name here. For me, it's EC2 user. If you want to know more about a particular command, you can actually type there are two ways to get the help about a particular command. One is man, which is actually a shortcut for manual. You can type man and say ls, and it gives you a lot of information here, like about this particular command, description, a lot of options here. For example, if I see the first option, it says if you give -a option, it means uh, do not ignore entries starting with dot. So to come out of that particular screen, you will type the letter Q. When you press the letter Q, you will come out from that screen and you will be in the shell again. Are you guys able to go into that shell and come back? Imran, Razibhai, Arif? Okay, awesome. Or if you have, I hope you haven't left us so far.
I'm good, man. With this one, I'm good. So continue. I'll stay quiet.
Okay, cool. So the next command, hold on. The next command that we can also use is called ls. Sometime help is available. For this particular command, we do not have help. Actually, I think we can also see ls. So some commands they have the help, some command they do not have help, some command they have manual, some command they do not have manual. So I think you're gonna try based on your luck. Next thing is right now we just saw that if we try to if we want to find all the entries into in a particular directory, we want to see we should run ls-a, and that actually showed you more information that we saw earlier. If I just run ls, I only see directory 1 and file, but if I type ls-a, I see a lot of other information. These are all small files or environmental files. Probably we will talk about it a little later. But if you see, all of them starts with a dot, and by default, the dot files will be or dot files or folders will be hidden from you. But if you want to see them, um, you can run ls-a. Sometimes people create aliases. Alias actually is a way to write a shortcut for a big command. For example, if I wanna just say lsa instead of ls-a, what I will do ls-a. So now I did wrong. Okay, so the alias command let us create the shortcuts. For example, the ls-a, either you can run this command or you can create a shortcut for yourself and you can type lsa or whatever name you like equal then that command in quotes. And if you run that alias now, you can find the ls the output which usually you get after running the ls-a. To see the list of all the alias, you simple run the alias without any command and you will find all the alias including the one which we have created right now. So that's shows us a way to go from one directory to another, finding where we are, changing the directory. There is one more thing I want to show you is to view a file. If you want to view a file, there is a viewer called less, less, and for that you need to find a file. So let me actually get a file. So let's say I want to see the any content from the bash profile. So I will type less dot bash profile, and this shows me the text that file contains. And now you can again, to come out of this, you can only see the information, you cannot edit this information. To come out of it, again press the letter q and it will bring back you to the shell. One thing probably you will find very useful is the use of tab. If you type anything and you wanted to see which command I need to run, you can press the tab and it will show you all the keys or files those starts with those letters. For example, if I want to see if I type le, you can see here I can find the less echo, less key, less pipe, let grog. I don't know any of those, but I only know less. So this also helps you to find a particular command. So you using the tab is very helpful, and you will make use of it a lot when you will be using in the Linux environment. Any questions? All right. So I think there are no questions. Let me see quickly in the chat if anybody has question. Having issues with speaker. Okay. As long as you can hear me, I think that's. Oh, you said speaker, so you probably cannot hear me fine. Imran, Asif, Razibai, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. No, LE is not a command, Imran. I just showed you that you can actually type few letters. You can type few letters, and if you tab, you can actually get all the commands that starts with those two letters. Okay, I just got a message that my meeting gonna end in 10 minutes. So let me quickly go over as many commands as I can go. The rest of the commands will be your exercise, okay? The other command I wanted to show you, if you want to create a directory, the command is mkdir. So if I type mkdir, it will create a folder if you talk in Windows language, and mkdir temp. So if I see ls now, you can see I have created a directory here. To copy files from one place to another, you usually use the command called cp. Cp stands for copy. So I'm saying copy file from file into temp. So now if I go and try to see what is in the temp, you can see there the temp a file is actually exists there. Sometime instead of copying the file, you wanted to move the file, which means that you remove from the current folder and you make it you send it to another folder. For that command, for that purpose, the command is mv or move. So for example, if you see right now, I have the file in current directory, but now I'm gonna move it to directory 1. And if I run ls, you see the file has gone. Sometimes you want to remove a file, so for removing the file or deleting the file, we have the command rm, which tells you about remove, and I'm telling it that remove the file that specifies here. So you provide the command and then you specify the file path and hit enter. And now if I will try to do ls, you can see the file is gone. There is one command usually you need to know, is called id, that actually tells you who you are and which groups you belong to. So for right now, when I type id, or if you type id, you will see that you have your user information. There are uid, that's most like an advanced kind of thing I will not discuss now, but you can see that this particular user ec2 user, he's part of these many groups: ec2 user group, adm group, wheel group, systemmd journal group. Okay, so sometimes you want to change the permission on the file, as you guys have done earlier. So for that, we use the command called chmod, change mode, and it takes multiple format, but I will go with the numerical format. So 7 means give, read, write, and exchange. Read, write, and execute command, execute access. So like I mentioned earlier, the first the first bit that or the first letter or the first group of letters that denotes the user. The second denotes the group, and the third one denotes um, the open public. So right now, if you see this file, it the read write access is available to the user and the group, and the rest of the public can only read it. If I want to change it that only the user can read it or the owner can read it, I can do, oh sorry, I can run 700, and now if I run ls-l, you will see the permissions is only given to the user, no permission for the group, no permission for the public. Similarly, right now the EC2 user has the access to this file. We can also change the user and the group, or owner and the group, by using the change owner command. This is we only have 5 minutes. I have to discuss a few other things here, but I will share this slide with you and all the exercises, all the commands which I have missed, which are only 4 more commands. Those are for you to practice. Any questions? Okay, so I wanted to discuss about the redirection and find and grab. Probably we can cover these in. Actually, these are your practice. These are your exercises. I have some questions in the exercise that you need to that will require to know about these commands. So let's see if you can figure out. But if you have any question, you can ask me in the channel. Okay. Next step, an exercise has been created for this session. I'm gonna share that with you. I will send to your email, as well as I will share these slides with you, so you can also see what I have presented. And within 2 weeks, hopefully you guys will be able to submit the exercises. With that, I think we are done. Any questions that you guys want to ask? Or probably I can make use of these 2-3 minutes to explain a couple of other commands. Arif, any questions? Okay, Imran, any questions? Razibai, Asibai?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, awesome. If there are no questions, just wait for my email that I'm gonna send right after this meeting, and it will have the link to the questionnaire, and then hopefully you will be able to answer those questions. You can research online, no worries there. Whatever, I think that that's the expectation, that you will research and you will try to find the answer for those questions. If there are no questions, I think we can wrap it up 2 minutes early. And if you have any question, please do not hesitate to ask question in WhatsApp session, in WhatsApp channel, and we will continue our discussion there. And the next section, the next session will be on EC2, AWS EC2, and that we will conduct after Ramadan, inshallah.
Inshallah.
If you have any feedback to make it better, or if you think if things are not presented well, or things can be improved, which is always the case, please don't hesitate to message me as well.
Yep. Excuse me, Rashid. I just changed my headphone. I just want to check you can hear me now.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, success.
Yes, all is well that ends well, huh?
Thank you.
All right. All right,
So
guys. Thank you very
I
much.
have one. I have one suggestion, Rashid. Basically, if we are continue like this, let's say you give a 1 hour session, let people stay on the call or something. If they have any question, you can drop. You make somebody else host or something if you want. This way, otherwise we'll listen to you. We might not do. We might do it, and then if we do that together, like if anyone else has question or they are doing something, they can do it together for 1 hour right
Sure.
after the class, like 1 hour session, 1 hour hands-on, whatever people needs to do, if it's possible for people.
Yeah, for me, it won't be
No,
possible.
no, not you. That's what I'm
For
saying. You do that session, 1 hour session, but this is just so people get more familiar with things.
yeah, right now the call is about to end. I don't know if I think the Google will allow more
Zoom,
than one
Zoom
hour
is
call.
free. Zoom is free. Up to 100 people or something. Zoom is free.
Okay, it's
So
gonna
you
end
can.
in 1 second. Okay, guys.
Okay.
Oh, did it record or not?